I saw the other day that far right is trending. This video, I want to just speak to you about what the meaning of far right is in comparison to far left. What does it mean to be in the center? There's going to be a lot of opinions based on where you currently are. One of the things that I would definitely recommend is Ground News. Ground News is a media outlet that really compares whether a post, a form of media, is leaning more left and right. And therefore, knowing what those definitions are is going to be valuable. So you can see where that mainstream media is actually positioned. So let's talk far right. Now, when you look at this from a perplexity point of view, when you search the definition, it comes up with some of the most horrific times in our history. When you think of the Nazi Party, when you think of Adolf Hitler, over this last week, we've been celebrating here in the UK victory in Europe and VE Day. And been watching lots of different documentaries during that really awful time. And the Prime Minister during the war times, who had to step up and be there for the country to protect it from tyranny, right? So Winston Churchill, you can see some really incredible sort of posts and videos and speeches that he made. Now, far right, when you think about what Perplexity said and what the extremes are, you're talking about the extreme measures of evil. The reality is that you are so extreme, you only want yourself and the people like you to ultimately exist, to the point where you are going to have some form of horrific hatred and evil to other groups of people. That is clearly horrific. When you compare that to far left to the extreme, you now start talking about the ultimate societies of communism, and what some real horrific times have also been to the people and the citizens of communism in the past. When you think of, the millions of people that starved, that froze. So when you're looking at the spectrums of, to the degree of far right or to the degree of far left, both sides, I think we will all agree, both sides are clearly evil to the harm of many, many people. So why is the term far right ultimately trending, and why are people that are using that term as far right as some form of description to maybe a political opposition? Why would somebody say this? There was a gentleman that was on one of these shows, were basically saying we need to prepare for a far right government, thinking and putting Nigel Farage in that conversation. Far right government, we need to prepare for reform. And in my experience, I've found when we speak about nationalism, when we speak about being proud of your country, that is absolutely not in relation to any form of harm of anybody else. It's actually quite the contrary. It's actually, from my experience, talking to people that want to be proud of their country, it's actually for the well-being of people. It's actually for the positive, prosperous future for people within the nation. That includes other people and a diverse of people and people from different groups. To me, I genuinely don't like what's happened over this last number of years, where every part of society just seems to be put into some form of category, whether it's race, religion, gender, sex, everything seems to be in a category. Why can't we just be one single human race that we all want to be fundamentally happy, and we all want the best for the ability to have a happy life, whether that's through careers, through business, through charities, and wanting the best for everybody. And that includes your environment, that includes having good times, that includes being proud of your history and your heritage. That is in no way about excluding any form of other people. I know for me personally, somebody may come onto this channel and say, this is a far right channel. And I would say, for what I do in my everyday life, is I am a proud father, I'm a proud husband. I want the absolute best for my family, I want the best for my community, I want the best for my country. And everybody within that, I have absolutely no reason whatsoever. I've actually got some really great friends from all parts of the world and different religions, different sexes and different genders, and I genuinely come from a place of care, me personally, that I just want people to feel good, to feel optimistic, to be proud of who they are, and have a sense of, that proudness to be where you come from, and I think that is okay, right? Certainly at no harm to anybody else. So it's really, really interesting. It's really interesting when you start to think about the political spectrum. I think it's really, really dangerous, in all honesty. I think it's very dangerous, in fact, when you start to normalize certain descriptions. I know I certainly, if I had the opportunity to sit on this bench with somebody that was maybe supporting Labour, I certainly wouldn't want any form of harm to that individual. We both want the same thing, to be happy, right? And when you start to normalise what actually was some of the darkest, the most horrific times in our history, whether that was the far right or the far left, truly, we should never, ever try to normalise this, because it's certainly the darkest parts of what humanity has ever experienced. I can't even imagine, genuinely, I cannot imagine the horror of the liberation of gas chambers, the liberation of all the so much pain and hurt and the distress of families being separated. I cannot imagine how horrific and how traumatizing and how evil that is. On the same time, I cannot imagine a time when people are starving, freezing, whether that was from the far left of the most severe communism or the far right, the severe fascism and Nazis. It just, honestly, I want to go on a trip to I'd want to go to a trip to go see all these kind of memorials in different places, but I think when you're there, I think you're going to have a genuine overwhelming feeling of sorrow, horror, devastation. And I watched a documentary of a lady who literally broke down in tears, and I can only imagine that everybody would be like that, because whether you talk far right or far left, whether trending far right, far left, it's a very, very dangerous thing, and we should never ever normalize it. Let me know your comments down below. Share down below. What's your thoughts? Take care of yourself. Bye bye.